show you how to spin fire. The NFT analyzer, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From your mint coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 wizardry to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. While stories from the web,
Mega GMs, welcome to the Swarm Report, man. A special, like a really special version of it. Home turf, home field, home territory. It's us, it's the boys, it's the team here. Finally getting to chat with you guys about, man, what's been cooking behind the scenes in the Swarm fam. Really, really excited for this. Joined today by the founder of CryptoSlam. Can I call you the brains behind, some stuff we're showing off today. The SWARMcopilot and WalletDNA, and I think like all things cooking on the Swarm front. I can call you all those things, right? I think that's okay.
I think it's fair to call me a brain on
one of them.
A good day. I don't know if I would say the brains. Pretty protective of the team that's making this making all this happen. Yourself included. You're one of the brains, right?
You know, it's been cool.
A brain.
A brain, yeah. What's been cool too is, so you guys have met Scott before. And Scott's been on the show once or twice.
Big brain,
big fucking brain.
That. Yeah.
Unbelievable brain. And Scott's been making the rounds out there on X and on some shows, which has been amazing. And I hope you guys remember Randy. Randy's been on the show, I think twice before. But this is different. And I'll say this will probably be my favorite time because look, we're all passionate about crypto and NFTs in the world of Web3, but AI is the thing that we've been like in love with now, going on years and getting to build in AI. You guys know I've been tuning every day. Like it's just a blast that we get to be a part of this thing that's happening and being really honestly part of that driving force and kind of at the center of a lot of what's happening here with the Swarm and, its position in the ACP. But, even outside of the ACP, the fact that there's all this building going on behind the scenes that's ours, that's our local stuff, that's our tools. It's the things that are going to put us on the map for a lot of people. I'll say this too, as like a little light spoiler. I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a trader. Maybe I have good intuition. I'm good at spotting things and I'm a good maybe early buyer and holder. I've never been a good trader. And what we're going to show you today is something that gives me for the first time the ability to be a good trader. And I've been using it and I can tell I am finally going to maybe be a good trader if I want to. The tool is now there. So man, we want to get into all of these things again. WalletDNA, SWARMcopilot. Guys, I want questions from you throughout. Anything and everything is fair game. We'll try our best to answer what we can. Of course, Randy is the guy who has the answers. I think we'll find out. I think so though. But let the questions rip throughout. If you have questions about what you're seeing on screen when we get to Copilot, hit us with those. May even say some of you guys can come up and ask those questions live. We'll feel that out here too. But man, let's get into it. First off, we're live over on Abstract. We're on X. We're on Kick as well right now. YouTube, like always. Guys, come to the YouTube side if you're not there already and subscribe. We have all these killer interviews with amazing guests, and it's always alpha on what's going on in the virtuals ecosystem. And today it happens to be the first place in the world you'll get a look at some of these cutting-edge tools and, like I'm saying, game-changing tools if you're a trader. So do all those things, but come on over here. And Cats, it's the perfect first question. Let's save that one. Let's save that one here. We'll find you'll see so much, and then we'll share what that's gonna look like here. Randy, what do you want to get to first? Do we even need to do an intro for you, like a proper intro? Do you want to introduce yourself?
I don't know how much people care. Hey, I'll say this, like the reason why I haven't been on, a guest or helping you or whatever. It's not because we haven't been knee deep in this. In fact, it's been the exact opposite. Our heads have been down building, what we said we were going to build during the EAO with Vader, with the Swarm, plus everything else we have going on with CryptoSlam, which is quite a lot. So we've been building, and I think at some point it's like, okay, yeah, EAO, that was great. Now, when utility, or, what are you doing? Or like, may take a little bit. The Swarm was purpose built to be like that agent that can service and help out this army, this flood of agents that were, coming to Web3. So that's what we've been working on, and so that manifests in our case in the ACP. So we certainly have been all in since honestly the ACP was announced. I remember it was like, this is perfect timing for us. It allows us to leverage our kick-ass data infrastructure, and is completely in line like with our vision for the Swarm. So we've been building the ACP, or we haven't been building the ACP. We've been building for the ACP to have the Swarm be a part of that. And I think there's some cool announcements coming out. They're not ours to tell, but we are, with Scott leading the charge there. We're in the middle, if not at the forefront. The forefront of all of that. So it's part of that process, right? You're building for the ACP. What matters if you're an agent? And if you're an agent that is trading, the data that you have access to is what matters. And a lot of data that agents are using is the same. So think of like I don't want to get too technical, but like what you might see on a DEX screener API or a coin market cap API. It's great, but it's not necessarily all that special. It starts to get special when you have siloed, proprietary, premium data that tells you something a bit more interesting. And this is where Nansen has truly shined over the years, because they, among other things, Nansen's awesome, obviously, but they did a really good job with smart wallet labeling and attached like, some sort of signal to how smart this wallet is. So I bring that up purposely, because as our role in the ACP, we'll get like, and this is just to be clear, what we're doing with the ACP now and the autonomous hedge fund, it's not the end goal. Like it is just the very, very first initial step. So I want to make that clear. We're not about the hedge fund at all. We're about the hedge fund and every other ACP cluster that comes up. And I'm not, over exaggerating there. We're built and ready for that. So with the hedge fund, we've got to provide token analysis reports. And of course, like one of the most important things you want to know is, if your AIX VC is smart money moving in or out of a token. And so we took that like as an opportunity to really double down on what we knew we could do, but hadn't done yet. And we built something, dare I say, it's like, you told me not to hold back, right, Hudah? This is the most impactful thing I have ever had a hand in building. It's that good. Will I be able to like sell the world on it on the Swarm report today? I probably not. Like I'm kind of a shitty salesperson, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're building it. We're shipping it, and people are going to start using it. Even like you started using it, and it's like, oh, at some point the light bulb kicked off, and it's like, this is awesome. Now I wish it had this feature and that feature and that feature, but this is different. This is revolutionary. So I'll plant our flag in the ground that the WalletDNA, the smart money, it is like best in class for the chains we cover. That's kind of the one caveat. We are focused 1000% on EVM. So it's Base and Ethereum right now. This was hard, guys. Like it was not something that was built overnight or even in 2 months since the EAO. This has been built over the course of like 2 years after having learned all kinds of shit, like aggregating all of the NFT data on the planet. So I'm going to stop there and let you react so I don't go on too long. No, I can't hear you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm glad because you said there's a word you use and it's smart money, and like I'm excited every time I hear that now, because like, man, I don't know if like the world or fate made this happen, but there was a tweet that was put out there referencing smart money. And it's like, smart money is something that the ACP is going to need to be tracking. It needs it because it's going to try to make great trades, and part of making great trades is following the smart money. And so like you and you know, Scott and whichever other devs are on this have been building out, you know, amongst other things that help reveal that smart money. I saw this tweet and it's just stuck with me, and I'm going to show it to everybody every time we start showing off these tools. Lexapro, I think you guys know him. If not, he's a really big meme coin trader, right? He's like one of those guys. He's one of those whales. He's one of those influential guys. And he brought up a point that, look, I think a lot of people agree with. And even I agree with it, with the way I use Nansen. This is not a knock on Nansen. I use them. I love the smart money metric. But Lexapro is saying here, look, the smart money metric here, it's not useful maybe like it used to be, because look, I don't know if the time frame is as helpful if you're looking at it, you know, 24 hours later, or in my case, I'm not paying the pro model. Like I don't have the money to pay for the pro version of it. So I got to hope somebody tweets out a screenshot of smart money movements. And by the time you see it, you might not be getting in a position in time because of that. But anyway, seeing his point that he's looking for tools that are like the next evolution of these smart money signals, he wants it. And Kook Capital is in reply saying the same thing. Kook's right there too. Well, I mean, his comment, you know, kind of related. I'm like, holy shit. The fact that guys like that are out there looking for tools that happens to be exactly what we're building, I think is, it has me excited. I'll say that. So with that said, Randy, I want to show both Copilot, and I want you to explain like how WalletDNA fits in. And I don't know which you think makes sense to go first, WalletDNA or Copilot.
Maybe start with the WalletDNA. And you know, actually, can you go back to that tweet real quick? You know, to everybody listening, like, this is how good Hudah is, by the way. He just nailed it, like with the research. Like, the dude just never sleeps. Like, so yeah, you're always vibing everybody up with how awesome. Like, Hudah, that's perfect. I think you knew that. Like this is gold. This isn't us saying it. It's like something we felt. But yeah, it's a good job with that, because that totally encapsulates the need.
It's there. It's become like a glaring thing. And when we get to the point when we're showing, and we're going to get there pretty quickly, but deck screener and what it shows, more like what it doesn't show and is about to, like, again, it all ties together. All right, fill us in with WalletDNA and what it is, and you know, because I even need to learn, you know, with more in depth from somebody like you. So explain WalletDNA, made by CryptoSlam. I think you. Is this a pure, like a Randy direct from your brain thing?
It is. I wish we had some sort of like, a lot of this is coming out and being prepared. So we don't have like this cool graphic that encapsulates it yet. So I'm gonna wing it. But like WalletDNA, it is a JSON output that agents just eat up. So we built this from the ground up so that the data, the fingerprint was readable by agents in a way that they could do really cool things with. So I'll start there. It's built for agents first. And what you see with the Copilot is kind of like our human extension of that. So what it's doing is it's taking a wallet both within a certain ecosystem, you know, so holders of a token. So think for holders of a token, and for like everything that wallet holds. and it's building a fingerprint for it. And that fingerprint manifests in like, what are we up to, like 6 metrics? So number one, it assigns, this is very important. So if I lost you with that last minute, this next point, hopefully we'll hammer it home. It assigns an IQ score to how smart you are trading a token. That's number one. So it isn't necessarily smart money. Yeah, like I'm a whale or I'm a big holder or I, have big bags or whatever. That's largely what other manifestations of smart money is. We've got that too. That's a different metric. But this is relative to your peers within a token. How well did you trade the market when you had agency over those tokens? So, and it factors in like, well, I was staking it. So then what happens? Like it factors all of that in, and it assigns an IQ score, just like a human. So in humans, if I have a 100 IQ, I'm of average intelligence. So we modeled it off of that. So when you see whether you're an agent or a human in the Copilot, if you see somebody with a 100 IQ, they traded relative to their peers, right in the middle, like on average. So if everybody's cooking, everybody's making money, you still may only have 100. Or if the token's tanked since launch, you still may be 100. And so then the IQ score goes up or down standard deviation wise based upon your performance beyond that.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's related, but I want to find out. So like we had announced a partnership with Arbis, right? Combine InfoFi and our market intelligence here, right? Is kind of like, is the info we provide, right? Our market metrics, insights, signals, is that fueled by WalletDNA? Is that a form of WalletDNA? It's just being used for something else like reporting?
It's a manifestation of the WalletDNA. Yeah. So like if when the agent is looking at some, whether it's on-chain data, which is what we'd be providing, or it's the off-chain, the real world, the social signals, which we can get from Arbis, it is, using the intelligence derived from the wallets that are interacting during a certain time period. It's not just intelligence, by the way. That's just the first metric. I'd argue it's the most important metric. Certainly one of the top 2 most important, but it's leveraging all of that.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense, because to me, I look at it as WalletDNA is going to have like all these use cases. Agents are going to use it when we start getting this ACP and these guys talking to each other. It's going to come into play with these reports and signals, alpha, all that stuff. Reports here, like with Arbis, again, it utilizes that. But getting then to Copilot, it's how you're going to be able to use it. How I'm going to be able to use it in a way, like, again, I never have been able to get this kind of insights before. I want to move, if it's cool with you, Randy.
Yeah, move to that. I think it'll make more sense when people can see it. And I'll say look,
I want to show real quick. Looking at Deck Screener, and this is the view you're used to. I'm showing my favorite meme coin. It's just what I'm doing. But used to looking at Deck Screener and it looking, very much like this. You can look at the chart above. Great. Great. There's the chart, right? I don't have much more I can do with it other than try to find different levels, support and resisted. And I just get I'm a vibe trader, guys. And when I look down below at the other metrics, I'm seeing individual transactions and I'm seeing buy or sell and how much money and then the maker. And again, great. I'm vibe trading. It's useful, but it's just useful enough where I look at it and I'm on, right? I'm on. I'm not getting deeper insights beyond that. And so now I'm going to show you a screen that's going to look the same, but quite a bit different, quite a bit more information. And this is where the real gold, where the real magic happens. Okay, before I switch, I've picked the Virgin coin as the coin to do our example with, and I have a whole bunch. I want to look at Stratos. I want to look at Vader. I want to look at Iris. I want to look at the hot stuff that people are trading right now, just so we have a good sample. If any of you guys have some good suggestions of coins you want to like look at and like do that digging into, please throw it out there. I just want you to see what it's going to look like across the board. But Virgin is where I'm starting, and I'm going to expand the screen so you can actually really get a feel for this here too. Again, we have all the same categories here. Again, the dates and the cells and the value and all that stuff that we have before. Copilot's delivering us quite a bit more and quite a bit more meaningful stuff. Randy, if you want to start getting into, man, what these mean, I have my thoughts I'll share as well on what I think is important and why. But you can, if you want to give us an overview, while I want to blow this up bigger so people can see.
Yeah, you can hide like the deck screener left nav, which helps a little bit too. I don't know if you see that right next to the deck screener logo, but that also helps. Yeah, click on that double arrow at the up. Yeah, right, a little higher. Yeah, that.
There we go.
There we go. It helps you get a little bit more on the screen. I do that. So yeah, so I was just talking about intelligence. That's the first column that we're interjecting there. So let's take a step back, like what the Copilot is. Like what we didn't do, we decided not to go build a front end and some sort of deck screener clone. Everybody uses deck screener or a similar established tool anyway. So we didn't feel like that was the best use of our time. We didn't need that. Like everybody's here anyway. So what we built was a for the Copilot, it's in the form of a Chrome extension. So you have to use Chrome or Brave or whatever, anything that will allow you to install these extensions. So what you're seeing here is we're just, this is I'll describe it as, I hate using the word because it's more impactful than that, but it's like the MVP, minimum viable product, where we are interjecting for every trade you see on the screen. We're interjecting that fingerprint. So the WalletDNA for everybody that just traded. So you're going to see various metrics. So you're like, well, what the hell are these things? Intelligence IQ, that is your trading performance relative to your peers. We were just talking about that. I see on the screen nothing all that exciting. I see some average traders. I see some with no sells. It's like, well, what does that mean? Well, that means that they have not exited anything yet. So we don't know how smart of a trader they are. So there's no signal in that yet. So as you might imagine, at some point when you're looking at the trades, you're going to see traders that are quite impactful in the ecosystem. I'm not seeing anything on this particular one quite yet.
And it's a really interesting time to be looking at this stuff, guys, right? You guys might be doing the same thing right now too. There's fear of war out there right now. You can see there's FUD out there because of like the Pump Fund X account got suspended, right? And Elon, the founder of Pump Fund, account suspended, and Shaw account suspended, and Eliza account. Like there's a lot of uncertainty out there, like literal FUD out there in tokens. And so you're seeing a sell-off across all these tokens, which is why I think it's extra interesting to have insights into these, because when are the guys who are actually those top performers, when are they sensing that's the opportunity to get in and take advantage, right? Play the opposite side of what most people are doing. Most people are selling right now. When are those smart traders getting in and starting to buy again? And I don't know where else I'm going to find that kind of metric. And I've discovered here over the past couple of days, I'm discovering it right here. It's wild. I've never had that kind of insight before. Keep going, Randy, but I'll point some of this out, what I find.
Go back up just a little bit. Stop right about, you had it. There you go. Stop right there. There's one. So it's more than just the smart money. What about the dumb money? So just what you're saying, there's fear out there. There's, capitulation. There's people dumping, wouldn't it be nice if you knew what the dumb money was doing too? So like Wallet IQ, like it's across the board. Like it's an IQ. It's really hard to get like a 1 IQ or something, by the way, because it's all statistical based, and you would have to be really, really dumb to have a super low IQ or really, really good to have an Einstein level IQ. You'll see Einsteins pop up as one of the tiers. But here you have, like, on that screen, I'm seeing a trader that relative to his peers has not done very well. Like he's traded roughly 1 standard deviation below the mean. And so we're classifying him as dumb for, like even worse than below average.
And we're talking profits there, right? This is not a guy who is he's not outperforming. He's below average as far as profits. But what's interesting is you can see he's an early guy. He might be an insider, maybe an insider, but not a good trader.
Well, yeah, I can interpret this for you. Like This one's pretty clear to me. Like, okay, we should go over some of these other metrics. So we've talked at length already about IQ. Flow would be, that is the amount of in US dollars relative to your peers that you have pushed through decentralized exchanges. So, and it's also with average flow being at 100. So this person is a current. So like the tiers are based upon, water metaphors. You'll have currents, you'll have tsunamis, you'll have trickles. It'll be damp. This one is like a current. So think like a bit higher than a stream. So they're pushing some flow through the system. So they're active traders for sure.
What you guys can't see too, if I hover the mouse, there's a little bit of a pop-up here, and it shows me both his flow with buys and his flow with sells. So it gives me a little more extra info on that pop-up there.
Yeah, how much did he push on the buy side versus the sell side? And
yeah, on the buy side, he is a current at 115. On the sell side, it's actually very close, 114. So very, very similar, but he leans towards more of his volume is on the buy side.
Yeah. So then you've got the epoch. That would be like an ultra OG. That means you would have received your Virgin tokens at the very, very beginning. So I'm thinking, Genesis participant for sure. That's somebody that was in Genesis to have that epoch.
Yeah, so you don't even see the initial buy. He received, he gets the tokens airdropped. He's already in. It recognizes that.
So in from the beginning. So now look at mass. So he's a plankton. He's like a 69. So he's below average. So most of his bag is now gone. And I think you can hover over and it won't show up on the screen share, right? Yep.
But when I hover over, it shows he is $66 worth of Virgin still at this point. So small.
Yeah. So he's largely out, but not completely out. And then the last thing is that I would say I am equally as excited about reputation as I am for IQ, but for completely different reasons. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole yet, but reputation would be, how much would you as a project founder want this person in your ecosystem? I don't know if that was clear. It's not how smart you are. It's not how big you are. It's not how, it's certainly some of that may factor in, like the, like the amount of times you might buy on DEX, for instance, might be factored in, but they could be small purchases. But it's like, how much do you want this person in your ecosystem? And this person, you absolutely want, like, I would feel very, very comfortable if we were doing an airdrop today, airdropping to this person. So we've kind of raked them a bit by over the coals by saying, yeah, they're a dumb trader, but that doesn't mean they're like a bad entrant in the ecosystem. It just means if I'm following smart money, or I'm an agent interpreting these charts, I want to know how successful this person's been. So reputation is completely different. It's like, do I want this person? Are they going to cheat on me? Right? Like, or are they going to, if I airdrop, maybe they are going to buy some more. This person clearly did. Otherwise, there's no way they would have ended up with an A minus is very tough to get.
This gets very interesting again. When I start thinking airdrops, I like how Vader, 1% of, people go on the show and 1% of tokens go to their holders. Look, perfect world. I would love to be finding all kinds of airdrops for people to hear that are Swarm holders. And whether that scenario or outside, I like Randy's saying, I think people will want to drop even whitelist, go down that path, whitelist tokens, whatever kind of rewards to those A+ reputation guys, those guys who have conviction. It's measuring conviction there. It's measuring, I don't know if it does length of time. I imagine it does, but by, the hold time. And those are the people, everybody wants to reward. So I see something here that other projects will value that metric and can come to us for that metric. Might need Swarm to get that. Maybe. Again, but these are circumstances. There's a lot you can do with something like that. By the way, there's really, really great questions, and we are going to get to all of them. So keep those coming, because I want to make this clear to you guys too. If this is what we consider first iteration, right? Or earlier iteration, and maybe still in beta. I don't know if any of those are the perfect words. We are going to be building this like at lightning speed with you guys, with the feedback. The features requests you guys want, we want to hear, and we will build those into this tool. And I think at a pretty awesome clip. Like that's a big goal of ours to be able to drive this forward, because already I'm telling you, like I said at the beginning, I'm not a good trader. This I know is going to make me a much better trader. I think this could turn me into a great trader. And there's features I'm already thinking of that can take this to the next level, and we're going to get these features in there. So we want your help with that too. These questions and these feedback feature suggestions, bring them, and I'm going to find a way to organize this, guys, whether it's in our Telegram or Discord, is that we really hit this and we get those features that really get this into like a one-of-a-kind tool, which it already is, and turn this into something that you can't be without. Let's see. Randy, do you mind if I hit a couple of the questions and then we'll go through some of these other features? Because what I've done also is I've gone through some of these tokens and I've pulled some other examples of great traders, guys who are making a lot of money, and what it looks like when you're filtering them, but being able to find them at a glance and then filter them and say, oh my God, guy with this huge reputation was in early, reputation for making a lot of money in this coin, and he's buying right now. That's something you want to see. And I don't know how you see that otherwise. Without a tool like this. So
I'd say can we take like so Katz had like his first question. How about like before we get into the new ones, his first question was how much swarm will I need? Because I think this is the perfect segue. There was no the answer wasn't like, yeah, you'll need 100,000 swarm or 200,000 or whatever it is. It's actually, there you go. How much swarm will be needed to access Copilot? Well, the answer is, Katz, it depends on your reputation. So we're, again, planting our flag in the ground that reputation matters. This is a cool metric. This is a very, very premium feature. We know this. We also know that the strength of a user in the ecosystem isn't necessarily the size of the bags. You may have somebody with a smaller bag, but they're really active on X and they're participating in DEX. Like they're great users in the ecosystem. So if it wasn't clear with reputation, it's a score from A to F, just like you would get in school with or like a credit rating or whatever. C plus is average. So C plus isn't necessarily bad. It's like, if I received an airdrop out of the blue from Vader or somebody else, like you start out with that C plus, and it can go up or down from there. So what we're doing is to looking over here at my screen at the exact tiers. Based upon your reputation, anybody can get access to the Copilot right now during this alpha period. So please, this is not set in stone. It's not forever. It is just for right now. We're going to iterate on this in public, but it's a very premium feature that, the pricing will definitely evolve. But anyway, in the very beginning, it is 150K swarm for anybody. So you can have an F reputation. That's like your staking requirement in order to access the Copilot. You do not need to stake in a custom staking contract. Want to be clear on this. So if you stake through the virtuals front end, you're covered. We didn't want to make people jump through extra hoops or have to unstake. So that actually added a little extra time to what we were doing, because we're building our own staking mechanism, but now we're just plugged into virtuals. So 150K for any reputation. If your reputation is a B, it'll be 100K, B plus 75K, A minus 50K, A 25K, A plus, I think we only have a couple of those, it would be 20K. So it's tiered based upon your reputation. And the Copilot, the extension, it can, you'll have to connect your wallet. It'll know like what your reputation is based upon the wallet. We will have something coming out on official channels, which makes that obvious and clear. So stay tuned to X and Telegram, and we'll have that all laid out.
I'm putting stars, like I'm bookmarking some really, really great questions. We will hit every single one of them. Again, I see some really good ones out here. I love them. I also shared my screen in a little different way so you can actually see the extension. The way I had it shared before, couldn't see it. This is the SWARMcopilot extension. Welcome, right? Link to socials and useful things. The glossary. I think there's a question about, some way to, either hover or get more info on what each of these categories mean. Cause I get it. Like, this is feedback I give as well to Randy. I'm like, they're all new terms and I think they're cool. But I have to reference something till it's in my head, till it's locked in and I know what it means. And luckily after just some hours, it's there, it's locked in. But you do have the glossary here that'll explain these. There's probably room for some kind of other, hover mouse and get a little info too. But glossary is right there. And then this I found already so cool that you can toggle on and off columns. Like, man, if you're not finding for your search right now, you're not finding that the intelligence matters. You're just looking for, you're hunting for people who are early. Cut off all these other columns to just have the epoch column. You can do the same with the default deck screener columns too. Turn off date, type, dollar amounts, all. You can turn all of it off and have just one column, like the thing you're searching for, just to make it easier to read. And that's just for now. I still picture this is going to get a lot more customizable. And even getting to something I think we'll talk about in just a bit, but like even some form of reporting, getting some of these metrics over time periods. And Randy, even again, a little jump ahead spoiler, but the idea of being able to look at a specific candle and getting some of these reputation scores for that candle. Like, what is the intelligence, the IQ score of this 1 minute candle, this 5 minute, this 30-minute candle, like just stuff like that, I think is just gold. And coming. And then just a quick comment here. I had earlier searched through this coin. I was looking for somebody whose, IQ is way up there, gifted, right? And found that, and this is what a gifted trader's trading might look like in early, so ultra OG. So that might be somebody who was in, the airdrop of this Virgin token, but also bought right at the beginning with that conviction, but seems to have a knack for selling at a great time here too, accumulating on the way down. And again, maybe not doing so much better with selling on the second half of this, but is out trading mostly everybody else, a majority of other people in the Virgin token. I notice he's back buying here in the past 24 hours, actually in the past 5-ish hours. That's what I'm looking for. These really smart traders, when are they getting in? How crazy would it be if we can get those reports on like the number of gifted traders getting in over a certain period of time, like really seeing when it's not just one person, but it's multiple people doing it. And you're like, there's my signal. It's right now.
What if you had AI helping you with this? Like, that's exactly what we're doing for the ACP, like interpreting charts with the smart money. Yes, I think it's interesting for us, and we're doing a lot now because it helps us to prompt and train the AI and let it do its magic. But yeah, like, remember too, like when you were trading like as a human, and this is increasing. A lot of these traders out there anymore, it's not humans. So like, if I don't want to get too much into the, the value for this is beyond just, swing trading or playing the crypto casino. So that said, if you are into that, it's like fighting Mike Tyson with one hand but behind your back, because these agents have access to this. They don't sleep. They do 24/7. What do you have? Kosher Capital, like is just kicking ass with what I can't imagine where that's going to be in 3 months, 6 months. What other competitors pop up there? And when they have access to this type of data, like it, it's going to be tough. You as a trader, what's it called? Like you're going to be exit liquidity to the agents if you're not arming yourself with a similar tool, and ideally having like an agent on your side to help you play the casino better. Otherwise, you're flying blind.
So I'm looking here, just random. I'm just like, again, I'm poking through, looking up different traders.
Bugging, by the way, like I can't see your screen share right now. I think it's.
Oh, you can't?
I did before, but I don't know.
Okay, you guys watching? Do you see my screen? Let's make sure of this. And
chance it's on my end.
Okay. If any of you guys want me to check your wallets, tell me the token and then drop me your wallet address. You might have to DM me on X because I don't think I can copy paste. So let's do it that way. You can tell me the token here, but DM me on X. It's Hudah_idiot, and I'll pull up your score. Okay, you see my screen. Okay, so they're good. I'll pull up the token. We'll pull up your address. Let's see how you guys are scoring here. But let's see. Let me clear this out. And we've got other tokens I want to peek. There's just so much interesting stuff out there, guys. Like, I want to be clear. This isn't just the virtuals tokens. It's, I think at this point, all the base tokens, and it's newer Ethereum tokens. So there's some new ETH pairs that launched this week, and I'm checking like true degen meme coins over on ETH. And I'm looking for those insiders, and the same thing. I'm looking for the guys who are making money and when are they getting in. And I'll copy trade those guys. I will. Randy, can I thought of something that would be kind of cool too. This is also just random. On like the main pairing page, right? On Dex Screener, would be really cool to bring the same kind of metrics in here, where over whatever time frame, an hour, 5 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 24 hours, also getting metrics that show the IQ score of that time frame.
Yeah, like a weighted average IQ
yes.
of the buy side and the sell side.
Yep. Exactly that I think would be so cool. Just like, man, if you're looking for tokens to start trading and where those guys getting in, boom, you see it right there at the top level. Would be awesome. Let me peek if I've got some DMs coming from you guys yet. Let's see. Oh, Michael wants to see Primo. Let's pull up Primo. That's a great. I love that token, by the way. I love that project.
Is that the real estate one?
Yes, and yeah. I think that's one. I don't know if under the radar is the right word, but like their use case makes so much sense, dude. Like so much sense. Primo should be that guy right there. Michael sent me his address. Okay, so here's Primo. We see some idiots that are selling. Again, it just means they're compared to their peers, they're losing. They're not doing average. They're doing worse than most as far as trading here. So just scrolling to see if somebody jumps out. If I see some like high intelligence plays here or some genius plays, newer coins, I'm curious. Like it might take a little while for people to really start trading, and then building these IQ scores. But
yeah, this just looks like capitulation to me. Like it's people losing money that are dumping. At some point, like you see, like for me, if I'm watching this, I'm watching for higher IQ come back in the green, and then that's where I would follow.
All right, so Michael, I got your address, and it doesn't show you in the maker field, and this brings up another really interesting point. I'm going to see if there's another Primo pair potentially, but like Randy was teaching me something just yesterday about the maker column. Here, let's try this pair if that's different. No, that looks like a fake scam one. Okay, let me try one more time. Give me one more here. Yeah, is that maybe it? No, that looks like a
bugging.
Dude, I wonder why, because I would like to fix that.
No, it's on my end. It's
okay.
Before.
So, okay, Michael, I got to ask you this. Where did you swap for Primo? Did you do it directly through virtuals? Oh, and maybe the question actually is, did you get the airdrop? Have you not sold yet? Because that might be a reason too, because if you received the token, but you've not traded it yet, it's not going to show you as making the trade. Now, something I learned here about Maker, sometimes the Maker is not going to show, like if you make a trade, it might not show your address as the Maker address. It could be showing maybe the DEX that you're doing a swap through. It could be showing, let's say I'm using the, let me think of the wallet, Phantom wallet or Magic Eden wallet, something that lets you swap cross chain. It might not show your address. It might show like they have a wallet that then does a conversion from like Sol to then base meme coin, right? So the Maker column, and this is something that we're learning as we get to dig deeper in this stuff, Maker is not always going to be your address here. So pretty interesting. Okay, so you did it on virtuals and Uniswap. Interesting. I wonder why it doesn't show your address. You bought on virtual and staked. And you also bought on Uniswap and holding. Okay, let me just try one more time with that.
That's one of the next. That's one of the next upgrades that we need to get into the Copilot, because it's one of the first things I noticed when we were building this out, like what you're talking about with the maker. It all depends on where you trade, and I think you gave some good examples of why it wasn't the same. What we're doing behind the scenes and what Dex Screener and others, from what I'm seeing, aren't doing, like, at risk of getting too technical, they're monitoring the liquidity pool contract for who showed up as the maker. That's not necessarily the wallet that ended up with the tokens. It's not the transactor that was either adding one token to the liquidity pool and pulling another one out. It's not the same. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it isn't. So when you see IQ and reputation and everything else plugged into Dex Screener, like, it's the maker column is actually irrelevant. Like, it might match, but it also might not. So what we need to do is, and this will be in one of the next iterations, is we're going to show you like the exact trader wallet that the WalletDNA applies to. I don't know if that made sense, but it's really important, and you probably have seen this if you've ever done any manual base scan analysis where you start clicking around and it's like, oh, this doesn't quite make sense. I noticed at first when there was some wallet I was attached to, like, I had like 4 or 5 different makers, and it was like, this is always me, in trading the exact same way for whatever tool I was using. But yeah, it doesn't manifest that way in Dex Screener.
So I have Axelrod pulled up right now. And again, I think I said before, and this is something I want to schedule for this week. I want to make a list of the ACP agents, some of the hotter ones, Axelrod, and I think Solace will be in like the wellness cluster. I want to start looking at those and us start doing some alpha and research together. Us start looking for entries to get into some of these things as we use Copilot to like find those entry points. So Axelrod is one everybody's watching, is, kind of the head agent in the autonomous hedge fund trading DAO. How are those traders out there looking at this one? Where is the smart money coming? Is it coming in right now? Do they feel like this is the time to get in? I'm going to do another little zoom in. Randy, are you able to see the screen yet?
I am. Okay. Now that you switched it.
I shared it a little different. So here's a gifted trader. A gifted trader. I'm going to sort by his trades. Gifted, ultra OG, so in very early. Flood, so doing some. Flood, I would say, is some serious volume.
Yeah, because it's over 100. So while you're getting used to the terms, just look at the numeric.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so that to me looks like a re-entry and is adding back to their position. Somebody that's been successful before.
And dude, this is like a dozen buys in the past 24 hours. And so we can both visualize it up here. This is somebody who has made more money than most in this token. So got in very early there. Might have gotten the pre-sale, but this is definitely buys right at launch. Has timed some of their sales or sells very well. Buying here, selling up here. And now is continuing to buy on this little downtrend. And again, this is somebody who's outperforming most. Look, you still could say maybe an insider when somebody's ultra OG. It doesn't mean they are, but that is something you're looking for, is somebody who isn't in early and who's consistently performing well. And they're trading quite a bit too. I mean, going back a month. I mean, a regular trader here. I'm just going to scroll briefly, see who else we have. What's the earliest you can be epoch wise? Like what would signify you are like, like block O, block 1?
Yeah. Like the 199, like it's a scale of like 0 to 200.
Got it. So yeah, I would love to see something that lets me see, just we'll use IQ as an example, just, gifted or above. I would love a view like that somehow, some way. I think that's something we could do, Randy, with like some type of reporting. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible or not, but like, hey, in the past 6 hours, how many gifted plus traders enter this coin? Or like you were saying, this is AI. This is something that the Copilot, I would assume, could generate us a report giving us.
Yeah. Like like, to be clear, like that's one of the next iterations, is us to marry more like what we're doing, like through the ACP and for Axelrod right now for the humans. So we should be able, like, the AI is going to eat this up, like seeing that, okay, there's an Einstein, I don't know how long
Look
ago
at
that was, Hudah.
yeah, let's look because that's recent. That is about an hour ago. An Einstein bot. They are a torrent doing big volume. They are early. They are a large holder and a great reputation. So let's go and look at that person a little deeper.
Actually, can you go back real quick?
Yes, let me copy that maker because that's looking like a good one. Okay.
So not only did you have an Einstein right there, but you had a pretty smart. Oh, I messed you up, didn't I?
No, it's only an hour back. It'll be easy to find. There's the gifted. There's our Einstein.
Okay, go down a little bit far. Yeah, see that guy?
Yep.
So, Axelrod isn't necessarily mooning right now. So it's like in this, mid phase where it's not moving either way. So you also have a very important trader right underneath them that exited. You can tell it was a complete exit. Did you see it? Like you had a gifted double plus. Yeah, right. If you go back, find the Einstein again. There you go. So right underneath it, you've got a gifted person that has completely exited. So their mass is a ghost. So yeah.
They've got no position left. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's actually fairly, they're taking profits and whatever. So
and they were a good holder. They were an A-.
Yeah. So I wouldn't necessarily say that that's a bear signal. In fact, I'd say it's the opposite. It's like here you have somebody that's fairly influential that clearly had as part of their strategy, they were going to exit and take profits, but now they're gone. Now they're gone. You got like Einstein buying back in, so you don't have to worry about this other major mover helping move the markets.
Wild, yeah. So the story here, and I love trying to figure out the story. Probably were in the pre-sale, and they sold here. And look, if you sold there, you were a like a 50x, like a 75x. So they did very well on this trade. Bought more here. At this point, probably sold at a loss. But even with that, they made so much at that initial sale from being in on the pre-sale. Again, they're probably outperforming most other people in this token, which is, I just think so interesting. So that was the gifted plus. Here is the Einstein, who probably sold their pre-sale along the way a few times. Let's see. Bought back in here and hopefully is selling higher. Yes. A lot of buys here and selling right at that top. This guy nailed maybe that local peak here, that local top. And
we don't know like how much he's selling from this view. And that's what's great about that IQ metric is it's encapsulating all of this, and providing it in one numeric value that the AI and humans can interpret.
And now go ahead, Randy. I'll ask this after.
Well, I was just going to say, like, soon the AI is just going to help with all of this. Like that's the whole point of the Swarm and the Copilot. It's not just to provide data, on the screen and deck screen. That alone is valuable, but the interpretation, like the AI, honestly, it's going to do so much better than we could. It's faster, it's more advanced. It's got access, like it'll have access to the things that aren't even on the screen. It can go and without getting too far into the weeds with how powerful our infrastructure is, it can go and retrieve more data, like to go find more information on this guy. What about the other tokens he's in? How smart is he across other ecosystems? All of these other metrics that the AI is going to be able to do that for you.
Yep. I love it. So picture this is, again, the human interface, the way for you to just glance at things and get some idea and help you get further in your research. Then you have the AI companion, the Copilot to, I hope, and talk to, or at least tell them to generate a report by transaction, by token, by whatever, right? This gets as deep as we want it to.
And Hudah, I don't think that's the same guy. It goes back to our discussion about the maker not always being the trader. Like that.
Oh, because these epochs are so
different. That's not the same guy.
So this might be a platform that trades on behalf of people.
Yeah.
It could be that he's swapping through a specific tool and it just reflects that maker. But this is, definitely different people.
And this is not like a Copilot thing. Like this is a deck screener thing. you click on that maker and you filter, like you're thinking that that's the same trader, even if you have the Copilot uninstalled, but it's not.
So what happens, and I'm just curious, if I go to Basescan and I pull up that address, what it is, and then I want to hit these questions, and then I want to start getting to, because we can start wrapping soon, because it's time to kind of, guys, this is where the community comes together, and we are going to build this thing into becoming the most elite tool out there. I mean, I'm going to go right back to this, and I'm going to show Lexapro, because again, it is exactly what he's asking for. And if this is the baseline of where it's at, and we're just going to keep adding more features that make it easier, add that depth, I think we're going to blow a guy like this away, and Kook, and I think we're going to win those kind of guys over to this. Okay, looks like just a normal address, but I don't know. I'm not great at reading blockchain, which, by the way, to me has always been a huge selling point for agents, and maybe even something we can do that I can almost treat. I don't know if this is the Swarm, but like an agent that is my blockchain explorer, like to explain this transaction, what happened here. So anyway, that's something I'm looking forward to at some point. Again, don't know that that's the Swarm. Maybe it is. I don't know. Cats about the key legend. Yes. Yes. So again, it's already there in the extension, but with your guys' feedback, let's get that exactly in the way that the community like needs, and it gets you there more directly. And so the answer, yes. I'm going to come back to, well, you can probably end on this question here, so I'm going to come back to that. Randy, are the columns sortable so you can quickly see top intelligence score? As of right now, I can't sort them, but what's the idea going forward?
No.
Going forward, and here's something I'm picturing. I don't know if this is doable or what, but that's where reporting comes in. It's more like, give me a report on, the past hour, and only, above average plus, something like that.
Yeah. And it's not like, it's not that it's not sortable because it's not important. Like I could see where that would, of course you would want that. It's not sortable in its current state because we haven't done it yet. And it's actually harder than you might think, because these IQ scores are completely real time. So it's not like there's some index built on the IQ. It's calculated in real time as you pull it up. So I don't know if that made sense. And my IQ score, like I could do nothing and my IQ score could change because my peers may have done trading that caused my IQ to go up or down. So maintaining that index is largely impossible, which makes the sorting a bit trickier. I don't know if that made sense, but it's important that the Copilot doesn't bog down your browser or do something stupid that makes you not want to use it. So we kind of went with performance being critical in the beginning.
I want to jump ahead just real quick to further on's question here. Yes, I mean, maybe that lower volume helps so it's easier to track, but I will say this is live on Ethereum as well, and it's starting with newer tokens and probably working its way back, and maybe I have that a little wrong, but working its way back to compiling this data and scoring stuff to older tokens, like picture SPX 6900, like one of the hottest tokens out there, period. Getting these kind of metrics on there, invaluable. I believe that's coming. Same with something like Zeus, like the top.
I would say like Base has a ton of volume, like in terms of like raw, like maybe not in terms of US dollars, if that's what you're looking at, but it is not easy to track, like at all. Like it is, if there's any engineers on the team listening to this, they'd be nodding their heads right now. Like it is a beast, actually. On par with like what Ethereum is.
So here I am, by the way, this is a, gosh, is this a base token? This is an Ethereum meme coin, newer in the past 7 days, but volume wise, I think has the most volume in the past week, again, on a new pair. And again, the same insights you're going to get directly on this. You're going to find those insiders.
I think we should hammer that home. Like if there's any sort of pitch we could make for us and like the Swarm, maybe that would be a good way to start ending it. We really need to think big picture on this. Like this is not just about virtuals and getting some utility for the token, or like the Swarm is built to be the agent that all the other billions of agents need for data. It may sound hyperbolic, but I believe that. Ethermage with virtuals, the founder believes that. We are all in on that. So I'm glad you're like bringing up a different token too. So if this is if you're like in the virtuals ecosystem and you're like, okay, this is great. I find some use for it. Think outside of that, like others that aren't in the virtuals ecosystem, would they find this useful too? I mean, the clear answer to this is yes. So now, like, you're okay. Once they start to hear about this, and CryptoSlam is very, insanely well connected, by the way, and largely in our network, like we're just leveraging like the virtuals ecosystem right now. We haven't even started to leverage all of the other bullets we have. So it's like outside of this, those other traders, other investors. So even if you're not a trader, you're an investor, they're going to find value for this exact same type of data as well for their other coins, their other tokens. So we are a play to jump outside of virtuals, I guess is where I'm going with that. I'm confident that this product, that this WalletDNA will help expand that base pretty rapidly.
I'm gonna hit the last few questions, then we got to get to the some like really, really important ones here. So more questions here. So that was column sortable. I do think, again, I think there's going to be some reporting options. Again, it's on us to rally for these things, suggest them, and then explain the use case, and we will build this. Again, we will build this fast. I like this, by the way. Sell this to virtuals, reputation score to distribute virgin points. Yes, there is definitely something there. And if virtuals hasn't seen this yet, I assume they maybe have. If not, we need to give them a nice demo and say, here's how you can use this to help with your airdrops and even YAP points and whatever, like YAP points plus reputation in these tokens, like it matters. Based on your data and your tracking of how smart money moves, will Copilot provide buy sell levels for tokens? That's interesting. Randy.
Well, that's what it's doing like for the ACP. So yeah, it certainly can. Like, again, interpret the chart. We want the swarm to interpret the chart for me and tell me what to do. So not only that, like not only tell me what to do, but wouldn't it be nice if someday down the road, like it tells you what to do and you agree with that, and you give the swarm permission to go autonomously act on that while you are sleeping or touching grass or doing something other than staring at Dex Screener.
And that is, can we say that's a goal? Or like, is that something that are we like, I don't want to tell anybody we're committed to anything
go back
very
to the
specific
EAO.
like that.
Like nothing has changed from the EAO. It's the agent that all other agents need for data to collaborate with, and same with humans. So it's like wherever the hard part was the data. Now it's like feature building. We've got a platform for all of this.
Now, us specifically though, do you imagine us building functionality with Swarm or Copilot where we can make trades through it? And based on, hey, if you ever see, X number of, Genius plus money heading into a coin, make a trade, right? Some kind of like DeFi type tool or functionality.
I envision us building the features where the demand is, which is why we're just opening this up for alpha access right now and see what shows up flooding in the inbox, because there's a billion different things we can build off of WalletDNA. Convinced of that. I no idea how well I've articulated that today, but I know that. So wherever the demand is, that's consistent with our vision, that'll be like the feature iteration.
Yep. Okay.
Like the hard part's done.
That's true. Extension, will it be available on mobile devices eventually?
No. That's a Chrome thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Any ability for like an app down the road?
Yeah, that would certainly do it. And I think like kind of the, we check Deck Screener, like on our PCs, our Chromebooks or whatever, and on our phone. Like that's when it really started to click for me that we were, it confirmed that we were onto something when I'd go to my phone and I'd be checking like a chart and WalletDNA is not there. Like you'll feel it too when you start using this. It'll be like, oh shit, I'm on my phone. I missed this. So then you have to go back to your other device.
Dude, I've already felt that. I have already felt
we
that.
don't cover Solana, so it's not there.
It's why I believe this is as like special as we're, like at least I'm making it like as special as we're making it out. I believe it because I felt it when it's not there. I'm like, I'm missing, man, the 90% of what I was using Deck Screener now for all of a sudden. Huge. Okay. This is a good question. And I don't, I think there's going to be some clarity on this pretty soon, but Swarm Terminal, is that where signals will be interpreted for us in real time?
The Copilot will do that for you. That'll be features like it'll be through this Copilot.
And then let's get to, let me peek for more questions. Okay, so we addressed the mobile version. It's a good question, Katz. Will this be expanded to Solana at some point in the future?
The short answer is no, and that's not because Solana isn't important. It isn't because I wouldn't like to have Solana. Of course I would like to have Solana. And it's not because we are not good builders. We're awesome builders, actually. I would say the reason why we don't have Solana is because how hard and how long it took to build this. Like it is literally, I don't know if there's a lot of people that are new to CryptoSlam and what we've been through, what we built, and what our story is. But there is a $15 million data infrastructure behind this. And, a couple of years ago, we started shifting the direction, just from being like the mega NFT data aggregator to covering like entire chains. And so like it is very hard to do this. So would it take us a couple of years to manifest on Solana WalletDNA? No, like we could certainly leverage a lot of the, the learnings from that and how to scale that, but it wouldn't happen overnight. Like it would take, I would say 6 to 12 months of pure focus to do Solana the right way. So that's why I know that, we're in a great position, because if somebody wanted to duplicate what we were doing if Nansen wanted to duplicate this from a, it's like, good luck, they've got the resources clearly, but it's going to take a long time to do this and have it scale. And, you might be able to run a Dune dashboard that shows, something kind of like WalletDNA and have it look pretty, but it's going to be outdated instantly. How do you get it to scale and accessible to AI agents? Like you can't without having gone through those headaches. So that's my excuse with why we don't have Solana. Of course, I'd love to have it, but it's hard, very, very hard. You're muted again.
Damn it. Thank you, sir.
Do you do that when you don't have a guest and just kind of like talk to the air?
I do it if I'm going to like cough or just like, right. Yeah. I just do it.
For that? Like they're listening in.
Wait, say that again.
Do people give you shit for that when you're just kind of talking?
I do it so rarely. So no, okay. But yeah, I don't know why. Just bad habit, maybe. All right, dude, when can people start getting their hands on this and start using it? And then my call to you guys, because I do think it's really soon. Like I hope today, dude, please let's let some guys in today. But like we need to organize again in CryptoSlam Discord or in our existing Telegram. And we need to start doing some trading, exploring whatever, and start bringing some feature requests to the team. I think you're going to be really surprised at how quickly new features get added in here. So starting with that first question, when can people start using this and how?
The short answer to that would be like now, today, but you have to jump through an extra hoop or two. So this is a Chrome extension. You have to go through like Chrome approval to get into the Chrome store, and we're doing all that. For one reason or another, based upon the iterations, that part's not quite ready yet. So you can't just go and hit the button in the Chrome store, which is fine anyway. Like we don't as we scale this up, we don't necessarily need, everybody in it right away. So if you are willing to go through that extra step of manually installing the extension, you just have to go to, we'll provide instructions for this. But you have to go to one spot, you've done this, Hudah. You can show people, on a future episode, but you just have to go to a spot in Chrome, like load unpacked, load the zip file, and you're done. That you have downloaded from a link we'll provide. So if you're willing to go through the extra steps, it is later today.
Now we do have a website. Am I allowed to show this off yet?
I don't know where that's at. I don't know on that. We may hold that. Maybe save that for a link. We'll have a website you can go to.
Okay.
And just click the button to download.
I'm looking at it now. It's pretty cool looking. Okay.
So for the team afterwards, see where we're at on that.
Yep. Okay, cool. So, you guys know how to get a hold of me. If you want in on this, like today, please reach out to me. You can reach out to us on the Swarm account. You can reach out to me directly, guys, Hudah_idiot. And then, it might be tonight, or maybe I'm going to pick a night so we can organize better, but later this week. And I want us to do some research together, I want us to pick some coins. I want us to go exploring. I want us to start feeling out what features that give us the most bang for the buck quickly. And then we start bringing that to guys like Randy and Scott, and we start seeing these things come in, and I think you're going to see it quickly. But let's get organized and get this thing cooking. I'm telling you guys, a guy like Lexapro, a guy like Kook, I think this is exactly what they've been looking for, and I think we're going to blow them away when we show it to them. So let's get it. Let's get it in front of them, and I think a couple more features, and it's already there. It's already there, but a couple other things too, and I think this is going to probably change how a lot of people trade. So I'm excited for it. Again, reach out to me if you guys want in. Randy, any final words here? Copilot, Swarm, WalletDNA, anything? And yes, Kat, by the way, has been using it a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, it's this is not meant to be like this. This is not meant to be this perfect final version. It was meant for us to get something impactful in the hands of fans of the Swarm that are curious what we're doing with the ACP, and just give a very, very strong taste of it. We have all kinds of features we want to build in, but I think where the feedback could help, and why another reason why it's important to get it in the hands of everybody is the priority on what gets wrapped in next, is it should be a function of demand, not necessarily what Randy needs, because it fits like my needs as somebody monitoring, the ecosystem and tokens. Like a lot of that's already in. There's, of course I'll get stuff I want in. I'm a huge fan of this, but it's like, we want to know, you gave me some ideas yesterday, Hudah, that I'd never honestly would have thought would be urgent. But if it's you and if it's other people, hell yeah, then we just build those next. So those are the final words. Like, give us the feedback. We're wanting to build this in public. I don't want to say that it's not hard work to go and build a Copilot, because it is, but I would say the hardest parts are done. Like the backbone of this that underpins this, it's may not be sexy right now because it's not fully understood yet. But I guarantee you, like it'll be understood over time how important and impactful this is.
I love it, dude. I love it. So thank you to you, Randy. I appreciate you. Anytime you're on the show, it's just a treat. And especially with this, because this really is going to help me trade, change how I trade. And you guys, great questions. Honestly, we appreciate that, and we want to keep those coming. So again, connect in Telegram, connect in Discord, reach out to me, especially if you're not in TG and don't know how to get there. Just reach out to me and I'll invite you in. Let me think. More guests coming up this week, guys, that I'll be announcing probably later today. We'll keep those coming for you, of course, some big ones too. So can't wait for that. And I'm thinking any final words. Newsletters dropping today too, so be on the lookout for that. Guys, like always, pleasure hanging with you guys. We'll see you later on. Randy, thank you again, sir.
Thanks, Hudah.